We see what we want to see. Yes? Labels. And that label in the text this morning, the label is the bushel. That's the label. We put the light under the label, and the label wins. What are our labels? Fear, prejudice, the need for perfection, bigotry, public opinion. What will they think? And all of them. So I have 2 points to make about the gospel today. Number one, if we're going to shine, listen to the verb. The verb in the text was let. In other words, allow. Point being, this isn't something we do. This isn't something we make. This isn't something we create. This is not going out and buying how to be a light shiner. This isn't going to a seminar on light shining. The light is already in you. The light is already there. We're being invited to let it shine. And how do we do that? Removing the labels, removing the blinders, whatever it may be. Listen to the text. Let your light shine. Not when you have your act together. Let your light shine. Not when you believe the right things. Not when you have enough faith. Not when you have all of your ducks in a row. Let your light shine. Not when you figured everything out. Not when you think you have something to give. Let your light shine. Not when you think you have the right spiritual gifts. Let your light shine. Not when you're over all of your dysfunctional upbringing. I always love that today. I was raised in a dysfunctional home. As if there's a normal family out there screwing up the curve. And so we give ourselves all kinds of grief, do we not? You are the light of God. Let it shine. That's number one. Let it, allow it. What label can we give up today? And the second point is, when you do that, when you let it shine, look out. Look out, because you will be practicing what a Catholic priest called in the 1700s the sacrament of the present moment. In other words, you will be here now. The problem with a label is I assume that life begins someplace other than the place I am in right now. As long as I have the label of whatever I should be or whatever I'm supposed to be, I need to get there for life to happen. But if the light is within me to shine now, I can, like the little boy said to his mama, "Mama, Mama, listen to me, but this time with your eyes." Right now. I live in Seattle, as I said. How many of you have been to my neck of the woods, the Pacific Northwest? It's the same with every group. It's not a trick question. But still, you notice that? It's this. I told the other services, this is like a congregational charismatic. That's as high as it goes. Yeah, we be praising. We're a good group, though, aren't we? Congregationalists. The difference between us and Jehovah's Witnesses is we knock on somebody's door and then we don't know what to say. So many of you have seen Mount Rainier, yes? Seattle's flanked by two mountain ranges, Cascades to the east and to the west are the Olympics. South of the Cascades is a single mountain rising 14,000 feet called Mount Rainier. Literally in the native language, Rainier translates the mountain. I do not commute to work, although there's a ferry to get on off the island. I work from my home and then I travel to do these kind of things. And so I don't typically go in the commute crowd, but one morning I was on the commute ferry. It was early morning, dawn. It's a great way to commute, and commuters were doing what commuters do. They were paying bills or talking or reading the paper, or I was reading a book. And there was a woman standing at the window, and you could tell just by looking at her she was not quite all there. Do you know what I mean? And she's pointing and she's shouting, "Look! Everybody look. It's the mountain. And the rest of us did what we normal people do. You know, with the abnormal ones. We looked at one another and we rolled our eyes surreptitiously as if to say, how sad for her, and I wonder what went wrong in her life that made her this way. And then we all went back to doing what we were doing. But she did not let up. Look! Everybody look! I have seen Mount Rainier thousands of times, but I figured, what the heck? So I put my book down and I looked. The sun had just crested the Cascade Mountain range, and it looked literally like it was sitting in the saddle between two mountains. And there was a hue that was cast down the snow-covered mountains, amber, like the color of a good English beer. And then it hit the Puget Sound, the water, and it was a gold, and it literally came right to the ferry, and it looked as if our ferry was traveling on a golden pathway to the mountains. Mount Rainier was still backlit, so it looked as if an artist had rendered it in charcoal or pen and ink. And to the south, in Tacoma Harbor, hung a crescent moon, just a sliver, in what I can only describe as a melancholy blue sky. I had goosebumps, and I knew that what I was practicing there was the sacrament of the present moment, the presence of God. And when I let my blinders down, I participated in it and let someone spill the light of Christ to me. And we docked, and we had to pass by her to get off the ferry. And we all, because she didn't let up the entire boat ride. Look! Everybody look! Just the way Dick read it in the second reading. The colors of God inside all of us. Let's let it shine. And as we passed by her, I realized that the only sane person on the ferry that morning was a woman who was not quite all there. Or maybe she was the person who was all there. And maybe it was my insulation and my armor and my labels and my blinders that prevented me from seeing what she saw, which was the light of God, and she let it shine. Little child came home from school after the nativity play parts were handed out, and the mother was worried because there's not that many parts, so she didn't know if the kid was going to get rejected and feel bad. Mama, I got a part. It's a great part. She said, well, what did you get? She said, I'm going to be the star of Bethlehem. Well, she said, what do you do, actually? She said, I just get to stand there the whole play and shine. So when someone asks you what you do now, typically we just give them our job, do we not? We give them a label. I told the first group that's what I love about being on a plane now. I say, what do you do? And I used to tell them pastor, and that doesn't work, so I mess with them. I tell them I'm a TV evangelist. And then they don't talk to me for 3 hours. And when the meal comes, I slap them and say Jesus. I don't have any assignments for you because the verb simply is allow, let. If you want an assignment, here it is. Sometime today when you're in a group or you're at a meal, or tomorrow if you're at business or at the office, I want you to stand up in the middle of nothing in particular and just say, look! Everybody look! Why? Because we are standing in the presence of the light and grace of God. Let us let it shine. Amen.